Here's part 1 showing how I made the top for my urara cosplay. All of the clothing parts of this cosplay were made using patterns from Cos, and I'm using Cos's free t-shirt sewing pattern to make the top. And as you can see, I'm just cutting out the pattern pieces like normal. Here is where I was cutting out the little vertical stripes. They're 3 centimeters wide, and I just made them the entire length of this part of the scrap because I didn't have much fabric and I didn't feel like measuring how long I wanted them to be. And here I am just cutting out the neckline piece. For the waistband part, I folded it horizontally and then vertically, and then I think I measured it to be like about 2.5 inches, and then I cut across, and then I cut it so it would be 2 pieces, front and back, and they would fold under and then sew to the thing, if that makes any sense. You'll see when I actually make it. Right after that, I made the stripes into like bias tape, and I basted them down by hand onto the front piece of the shirt. And then I top stitched it all down. Side note, after this I found out there's like interfacing type tape that you can use for stretch fabric, and like you can either use it for like the hems or like I guess stuff like this. It probably would have made my life so much easier. I did this all by hand and it took like about 4 hours. Very annoying, and also my stripes are not even that perfect, but whatever. I did it. I chose this instead of like just cutting out stripe parts of the pattern and then just sewing it as part of the pattern, because while that would be way easier, I don't know, I just think that having that dimension looks a lot better, and you see that in like tracksuits and stuff, so I don't know, it makes sense to me. After that, I just sew the shirt together like normally. I feel like you guys know how to sew a shirt together. If you don't, look it up, I guess. But yeah, I did that and I serged all my edges so that they would look clean on the inside. I just didn't share each part because my serger was shaking my camera up a lot. In these clips, I'm sewing the sleeves up, and yeah. Okay, so in this clip, I'm just sewing up all the red rectangles, so the waistband, the little neckband, and the little armband pieces. Sewing the neckband and the little armband parts is the easier part because they're the exact same size as the holes that they're meant to be sewn to, but the next part is the really tricky part. Sewing this waistband was so annoying because I accidentally cut it to the size of my waist, and then I remembered it was supposed to be lower than my waist, so I had to stretch it a lot. But I basically just pinned the side seams together and the center parts together and stretched it as much as I could. I did one layer first, and then I folded it and then sewed like all 3 pieces together, if that makes any sense. And lastly, I just top stitched the seam allowance on the collar. And lastly, here's a little comparison of the quality of the pre-made costume shirt versus mine. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this.